The movie begins with Pat Novak introducing an interview on his news show, The Novak Element. He discusses the implementation of a new law enforcement strategy in other countries, emphasizing its success in making neighborhoods safer without risking the lives of police officers. General Curtis Monroe joins the interview from the Pentagon's War Room, explaining the use of robotic assets on the ground. Footage of robots engaging in operations in Iran is showcased. Pat expresses awe at the efficiency of the robots, contrasting it with past conflicts where American soldiers were at risk. General Monroe remarks on the strategic benefits of using robots in warfare. As a reporter is talking about how life in Iran is, a suicidal bombers group attacked and the robots attacked back. A kid named Navid saw his father in a war with the robots and went carrying a knife and he was shot by a robot. After witnessing this scene, Pat discusses the use of robots in American law enforcement and questions why they are not utilized domestically. He contrasts Raymond Sellers, an entrepreneur advocating for the use of robots in the US, with Hubert Dreyfus, who opposes the use of drones on American soil. Novak suggests that fear and lack of understanding about this technology contribute to public support for Dreyfus's legislation. Alex walked into his boss's office and she asked for an explanation for something his two co-workers were accusing him of. He told her he wouldn't say while they are here, so they leave after having an argument with him. Then he started to tell her what happened. The previous night, he and his partner met up with criminals for undercover operations. They managed to make a dealer reveal some illegal weapons and asked where he got them from. He told them he works for Antoine Vallon. They ran the serial numbers on the gun and they found out that they were taken from their evidence room. Then they went to meet with Antoine Vallon saying they wanted to buy guns, but someone tipped him off and he left before they closed the deal. His men opened fire and Alex and Jack were outnumbered, so they decided to escape, but Jack got shot. Raymond Sellers, the CEO of Omnicorp, attempts to persuade the government to allow the use of robots in law enforcement. However, he faces resistance from government officials who express concerns about the lack of human empathy and understanding in machines. They argue that machines cannot comprehend the value of human life or understand the moral implications of their actions. Raymond Sellers is discussing ways to make the public accept robots. He told them the need to provide Americans with a product they can connect with emotionally. In a radical move, Sellers suggests putting a man inside a machine, blending human consciousness with robotic technology to create a figure that resonates with the public. Antoine Vallon is talking to his men. He suggests paying off Detective Alex to ease the pressure he poses. But they doubt it'll work, especially after Alex's partner was hurt. Alex went to visit Jack at the hospital. While he was inside, someone came and put something under his car. Tom presents candidates for their new project of integrating robots and humans. However, the scientists reject several injured officers for various reasons. Alex arrives home and greets his son and wife. His wife asks about Jack. Alex hears his car alarm going off. He rushes outside to investigate and finds the door open. As he moves to close it, the car suddenly explodes. Dr. Dorton informs Clara about Alex's severe injuries, including fourth-degree burns covering 80% of his body, a severed lower spine resulting in likely paralysis from the waist down, and critical damage to his vestibulocochlear and optical nerves, potentially leading to blindness and deafness. He emphasizes that Omni Foundation is the leader in this field and offers their best chance at saving her husband. They offered a whole new mechanized body so he can go on living. After waking up from the procedure, Alex panics, asking about his wife Clara. Dr. Norton reassures him and introduces himself as the one treating him. Alex notices that he can't move and questions the strange things he's experiencing. Dr. Norton explains that the suit Alex is wearing is actually part of him now, the result of the procedure. Alex becomes increasingly distressed and demands to be freed from the suit. A frustrated Alex escapes. Norton lets him run and tries to convince him to get back, but Alex keeps running, so Norton shuts him down and returns him to the lab. As Dr. Norton reveals the extent of the procedure to Alex, explaining that only parts of his head and some vital organs remain human, Alex is horrified and requests euthanasia. However, Norton urges him to reconsider, reminding him of his family's support and their hope for his recovery. Alex insists on ending his life, expressing his desire not to continue living in his current state. Norton argues against this, emphasizing his wife's love and the second chance she has given him. In a video call with Clara, she expresses joy at finally seeing him. Clara reassures him and asks about his treatment, to which Alex responds positively. Clara mentions their son David, and Alex hesitates to let him see him in his current state. Alex expresses his love for her before ending the call. Alex goes to combat training, but he was unable to compete with the standard Omnicorp robots because of his human instincts. In a presentation to sellers, Norton explains the capabilities of Alex's new body. He emphasizes that while Alex's brain processes information similarly to a human, there is still a delay in the system's response compared to a robot's instantaneous reaction. Sellers expresses his desire for a product that the American people can rally behind, but Norton is concerned about the human element interfering with the system's efficiency. Norton operates on Alex again. Alex goes to combat training again. Sellers expresses admiration for Alex's performance, noting that he seems to be functioning better than expected. Norton explains that while Alex's hardware and software make him a highly capable machine, he still retains control over his decisions in everyday life. However, in combat situations, the machine takes over, and Alex becomes a passive observer. Norton acknowledges that Alex believes he is in control, but in reality, it's the machine's actions guided by signals sent to Alex's brain. Alex went to his house, Clara greeted him by the door, and he went to meet his son David. David was a bit hesitant at first, and tried touching him. Alex meets up with Jack. He asked to help him take down Valen and his crew starting the next day, and Jack agreed. Alex is going to be introduced into the public, and people are waiting to see him holding signs. His family was also there. Alex's brain is being loaded with the DPD database, giving him instant access to criminal records and CCTV footage. With this, he can identify criminals and their location swiftly. As the upload completes successfully, when he saw his own crime scene, he got too emotional and had a seizure. They had to shut him off. Norton said that they shouldn't have a press conference today, but the Omnicorp team forced him to fix him. As Alex's heart rate rises, the doctor instructs to regulate dopamine and noradrenaline levels to stabilize his emotions. However, lowering these levels would diminish his ability to feel anything. Despite the risks, the doctor insists on continuing until the emotions are subdued. As he went out, David called on him saying "Dad," but he ignored him. The only thing he was checking was if someone was a threat or not. Then he saw a criminal in the crowd and went to arrest him. Norton is having discussion with the Omnicorp team. Tom and Sellers emphasize on his popularity and the need to keep him in action. Despite Norton's reservations, they decide to cancel interviews and keep Alex's wife at a distance for the time being. Norton went to Clara to talk to her about this, and she told him Alex was different. He reassured her, saying she will get her husband in time. Jack asks Alex if he's ready to start working on bringing down Valen, but Alex brushes him off, saying he has cases to work on, and walks away, leaving Jack standing there. Alex took his bike and went to catch dealers. He then went to an old kitchen and shot every criminal he saw. Norton and the other crew are looking at footage of Alex arresting the dealers, and they were satisfied except Norton. Pat is interviewing Senator Dreyfus and Sellers as, in the interview, they discuss the Dreyfus Act and its impact on public opinion. Norton tried talking Liz into letting Clara see her husband because of the calls he was getting from Clara, but Liz said no. Clara stepped in front of Alex's bike and asked him to come home because their son wasn't feeling okay, but he left her standing. Alex started looking at his wife and son, and he drove home. Jay, Norton's assistant, informs him that Alex is overriding the system. At his home, Alex started remembering what had happened to him during the day of the explosion. Norton and Jay saw his dopamine levels had returned to normal. After remembering the events, he went to Jerry, the guy who tried to sell them the guns. He asked about Anthony Valton, and he got this number. He tracked his number and went to where he was. Antoine and his men, prepared for Alex's arrival, turned off the lights and donned night vision goggles. As Alex entered, they opened fire, initiating a firefight. Despite the ambush, Alex retaliated and managed to eliminate all of Antoine's men. Searching for a weapon, Alex scanned for fingerprints and discovered that one of them belonged to a police officer. He went back to the station and confronted Daniels, revealing evidence tying him to Valen's criminal activities. He presents recovered guns from Valen's warehouse with Daniels' fingerprints on them, as well as CCTV footage showing Daniels meeting with Valen on the day of the attempted murder of Alex. After hearing this, Daniels tries to shoot Jack, but Alex shoots him first. When he saw this, the other guy got terrified and and told him it was their boss behind everything. Alex went to Karen, the chief of police, and confronted her. She told him she can explain, but he pulled a gun on her, so Rick shut him off. Pat commends Alex for exposing corruption within the Detroit Police Department, highlighting the invaluable truth that even law enforcement officers can be corrupted. Clara Alex interrupts the transmission with a shocking statement. She expresses her frustration over Omnicorp's denial of access to Alex for weeks, demanding answers and accountability for their inhumane treatment. Sellers demands to see Norton urgently. When Norton arrives, he confronts Sellers about Maddox's surveillance and the false claims of Alex's critical condition. Sellers tries to calm Norton down, acknowledging the success of his work, but Norton is adamant that the situation needs to stop. Sellers questions the quality of life Alex has been given, expressing regret for their failure to make him a normal man, husband, or father. Despite this, Sellers emphasizes the broader impact of Norton's work, highlighting how it will revolutionize law enforcement and ensure no officer dies in the line of duty again. Finally, Sellers pledges full funding and support for Norton's project, ensuring care for Alex's family beyond their expectations. The law has been approved to put robots into the police force. Sellers called Rick to tell him to get his robots done. Sellers asked to see Clara, and she was brought to him. He told her that Alex had a seizure and the doctors couldn't save him. Norton rushes to the lab and finds soldiers demanding access from Jay. He intervenes, gaining access to Alex and removing his transmitter to prevent anyone from accessing his vitals and to deceive Sellers into believing he's dead. Alex eliminates the soldiers, and Norton reveals Sellers' plan to shut him down permanently. Understanding the threat, Alex resolves to kill Sellers and swiftly departs on his bike, ignoring Norton's attempts to stop him. As Sellers prepares to address the public, Rick warns him about Alex. Fearing for his safety, Sellers hastily prepares to flee in a helicopter. As Alex approaches the building, the soldiers, fearing for their lives, drop their weapons. Inside, he engages in a fierce battle with robots, managing to destroy some of them, but sustaining serious injuries in the process. As two more robots close in on him, Jack arrives and tries to distract them, allowing Alex to escape. Alex went upstairs and found Rick, but he was labeled as non-threatening, so he was unable to shoot him. Alex turns to leave and Rick shoots him from behind. As he was about to shoot him in the face, Jack killed him. On the terrace, Alex comes to where Sellers is preparing to escape in a helicopter, with Clara and David as hostages. Despite his programming initially preventing him from acting against Sellers, Alex manages to overcome it and kills Sellers, thereby saving Clara and David. Meanwhile, Alex's body is reconstructed in Norton's laboratory, a symbol of hope for a future where man and machine can coexist. As Clara and David make their way to visit him, Alex eagerly anticipates their arrival, ready to embrace his family. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.